Okay, so first I want to start and just show us our core values here at Unity of Springfield. God, one presence, one power, all good. The teachings of Jesus, spiritual growth, supportive relationships, abundance consciousness, diversity, loving service, and peace. And our vision to welcome and recognize all who enter the church as important and unique creations of God, to offer metaphysical interpretation and practical applications of the teachings of Jesus Christ, to offer inspirational services, classes, workshops, and seminars that support the core values of Unity of Springfield, to offer youth education that nurtures their spiritual growth, to provide social events to bring families and individuals together in a loving and sharing atmosphere of fellowship, to have welcoming facilities that meets the needs of the church now and in the future, to provide an environment that expects and appreciates volunteer service within and outside the community. I think there's some pretty strong core values and some pretty strong and good things in our vision as well. And so what we're going to talk about today is how can we level up in relationship to each other as a spiritual family, and also how can we level up the ministry itself. And last week we talked about that the first place we had to start was in leveling up ourselves. And this was based on the scripture, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. And the second is equally important, and that was love your neighbor as you love yourself. And that we often forget this piece right here of truly loving and embracing ourselves. Because as we move deeper into that, then it changes the filter that we're looking through to see other people. So as we're more showing up for ourselves with compassion and with understanding, with forgiveness, with kindness, with serving ourselves and moving deeper into those places, then we're starting to see individuals from a whole different perspective. Now I want to share with you some of the things that we talked about on Wednesday night. We do have copies of the CD from Wednesday night, but we talked about some things that we could do to love ourselves more. And one was giving ourselves some downtime. This next one was kind of hard for us. It was taking a break from our electronics, like an hour break. Oh my gosh! Doing something we love, even if it's only that we do it a day a week. But many of us had hobbies and things that we loved to do, and then life got busy. And we put those things aside. And so start kind of bringing those things out and looking at them and saying, this brings me joy, this uplifts me, this is something I can do for myself because I love it. And start integrating that into your life. Moving our bodies with exercise, walking, hiking, yoga, things like that. Letting ourselves sleep in on a Saturday morning. So we get so busy, so got this to do, that to do, this to do, that to do, and we're wiped out. Notice I didn't say Sunday morning. And one of the things that I loved was to create a worry window of 20 minutes. So if you're, sometimes we're just in this place where we're constantly bogged down with something that's going on, and it goes through a whole day with us. So give yourself a worry window in the morning of 20 minutes. And for that 20 minutes, you're going to worry all you want. Then you're going to close the window. And then throughout your day, when it comes up, you might have a 20-minute worry window in the evening. You'll say to yourself, nope, not now. I'll look at you later. And I thought, what a brilliant idea for just releasing that that sometimes we walk around with. And of course, meditate, breathe deeply, read uplifting things, journal, things like that. So what we're going to talk about first is leveling up our spiritual community, is leveling up ourselves as a spiritual family. Because that's what we are. I know, having gone through this, the loss of Sean, I felt so completely loved and supported by this family. And I know Mary Lou Rao expressed the same thing, that, recently her husband transitioned after, was it 67 years? 63 years. Either or, it's a long time. But she even came in and said, I get it. I know what that feels like, because she felt so incredibly loved and supported. And I want every person in our spiritual community to have and feel and know that every one of us is loved and valued, that we're seen, and that we matter to each other. And we have the opportunity to do that. To me, this is the part of leveling ourselves up as a spiritual family. So I'm going to ask you, just take a moment, kind of look around the room. And how many people do you just recognize from being here? If you kind of look around the room. Okay. We probably recognize a lot, unless we're here for the first time or so, but we probably recognize a lot of people, yes? Okay. How many people in this room do you know something relevant about? I kind of look around. And how many people have we only connected with through a smile, through a handshake, or through a hug? And what I want us to see in this room is that most of us are here together every week at this time, because we share this spiritual journey of life, because we love this, because it's empowering us, it's helping us to maneuver through all the various things of our life. And why wouldn't we want connection with other like-minded people? I don't know about you, but I know sometimes when I'm going through a tough time, I get some weird advice from things out there. You know, things that I truly go, la, 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 la. And I'm so grateful for my spiritual family, because when I come here, I'm reminded, I'm encouraged, you know, I'm uplifted. And it's important to have this as personal relationships within this spiritual community. And I want to say that for people who are listening on the radio or the internet, that this message today is just as relevant for you if you belong to another organization, another church, because how we show up in that community makes a huge difference. Okay, I read this, and it says that the goal in connection is that we all know that we are known and that we all feel cared for. Every single one of us, where no one is left out. And I think that's so beautiful. I loved this slide. We're about genuine relationships with God and with each other. Now, I will tell you that in that, you know, my recent experience with grief, it really opened my eyes to how many people in our community have experienced a deep loss of a loved one through death, either years ago or recently. And my first thought was, we need to have a grief support group, and, you know, bring people together who share that they've lost somebody through death. And because there's a connection there, and, you know, we can come in and we can cry with each other, and we can also support each other. We can say, hey, you know, this is where I'm at in the process, and I'm doing okay now. So it would be wonderful. But let's take it further, because grief shows up not just as death. Grief shows up as things like divorce, the loss of a job, the loss of health, financial downturn, you know, things like that. And here's the thing about us not being connected in smaller ways, is that many times all of a sudden people will quit showing up here and we don't know it. And so they feel like their spiritual community has just forgotten them, that nobody is there for them. So what if we created more mastermind groups or more prayer groups where we have 4 people coming together in this ministry on a regular basis to pray with each other once a week or once a month, whatever it is? You know, wouldn't you feel so much more connected? And that way we know, hey, so-and-so hasn't been here for a while. Do you know what's up? You know, these kinds of things are just so important for our spiritual family. Other ways that we can connect with each other. Small groups. We are getting ready to launch our next small group ministry. It's going to be the beginning of October, and it's going to be on the book, What If It All Goes Right? Now, the thing about being in a small group, it's where we like to keep it at about 8 people, meet in somebody's home, or they meet here at church, and they go through this program together. And so I encourage us to mix it up some, so that we're constantly getting connected and getting to know people in this ministry. And it would be great to have family sharing time, have families come together and have an opportunity to share with each other. Other activities like floating, walking, hiking, biking, camping, bowling, going out to movies together, having coffee together, dancing. I know that there's many people here who go hiking together and they do ballroom dancing together. Intergenerational activities would be awesome, where we're literally bringing all the ages together and creating opportunities to connect from that level. Because you know what we have to do? We've got to get our kids, all of our kids, connected with us, other than what we see on Sunday morning for about 5 minutes. It's important that everyone feels connected. Host educational seminars. This is a great way to be connected. And we'd like to, maybe it's something, I totally have a PowerPoint on this. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Oh, wait, okay. Host educational seminars, did I miss one? Yes, I did. And that is utilizing the gifts of our more mature people in creative ways and honor their wisdom through getting to know them. That is an awesome connection. Intergenerational activities, and then educational seminars, things like rain barrels to recycle rain, how to go more green, what that means, recycling, gardening, computers, financial advice, tips on car maintenance, painting, crafting, not being crafty, crafting, and hopefully having these for free, but at the very least for a nominal fee. So that again, it's an opportunity to come together and to learn. I don't know how many of you would like to learn more about how to use your computer, but I would. And I would love somebody to have education on how to use my cell phone. Because I know I'm missing out on a lot with that. So I would love that. And then, have book groups. I know that there's a group of women here that they read. They go through the book together. I mean, they read it, they come together and they talk about it, and they've created wonderful friendships by doing that. And we have the opportunity to do that, more with each other, just finding things that can connect us, things like a men's group, a women's group, parents group, singles group, mature adult group, and we have an LGBT group that's going on. And we used to have a women's group, and we used to have a singles group, and I gotta tell you, these things are dear to my heart. Because again, when we come together and we have something in common, that connection goes so much deeper. So I think it is important for the men to have a place where they can gather together and they can talk about things, for women to come together, for singles to come together, for parents to come together. These are all opportunities that we have for connection. And you know what it takes? Leadership. It takes leadership. It takes someone or someones. I'm going to say here, we like to see co-leaders. So it doesn't all fall on one person, but someone or someones who are willing to step up and say, yes, that speaks and sings to my heart, and I want to be a part of creating this. Now, let's look at leveling up various areas of our ministry itself. We are going to be looking at a lot of different things, and it doesn't mean that things are wrong in these areas, but here's what I finally got. If we keep doing what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always gotten. And I know that we have kind of been at this place for a lot of years, and we've talked a lot about, hey, we know that this message can reach out to so many more people, and we're going to do it, and we intend to do it, and we do little things, but we can do so much more. So we're going to be looking at ways that we can level up with things like our music equipment, our music program, our sound systems, our office equipment, the overall service to you, the congregation, leveling up our youth programs, our junior Sunday school, our Uniteens, our Youth of Unity, and our Next Generation Unity programs. We'll be looking at all of our staff and inviting everybody to ask the question, how can I be a better minister? How can I be a better administrator? How can I be a better music director? How can I be a better Sunday school coordinator? How can I level up and raise that higher? Looking at leveling up the area of messages on Sunday morning and Wednesday night, messages that you get through classes. And we're going to be looking at leveling up this building. If you remember, one of the core values that we have was to keep this building in good condition. And one of the things that I noticed so much, how many people have had things they wanted to change about their house, and it didn't happen until they went to sell their house? Yes? Well, I've always been of the mind, I'm going to do it now because this is where I am. I want to enjoy it now. And I'm going to tell you, there are a number of things in this building and on the inside and outside that need leveling up. And we're going to be looking at those areas. Now, in leveling up the ministry in itself, we all have gifts. Not just one. We have all come forth with things that just are natural to us, things that give us joy and make us excited. So I want to talk about some of the gifts that we might have that could help level up this ministry. Maybe you're a visionary. Maybe you're somebody who can see an idea. And one thing that I learned, it took me a really long time to learn, is that there are people who are just idea people. They're not follow-through people, but they're idea people. And so what could be next is somebody who's creative. Somebody who is able to look at that vision and say, oh, I can create this, and I can help see the pieces and bring it all together. Let me go. Where'd I go? Maybe you love to cook. Does anybody here love to cook? Yeah. And I know that some of you, God bless you, were born with a natural ability to cook, and nothing in my being came with me at all. So I honor you. But maybe you would be willing to be one to fix meals for some of our homebound people, for maybe some of our more mature people that, just so they don't have to fix meals all the time, and for people who have experienced losses. Also, we're having Friendship Sunday today. We would love for you to share your culinary skills by sharing on Friendship Sunday. And then we have people who like to host. Sometimes people just love to host things. And so Friendship Sunday is another one that you could come and you could help get things all set up and be a host for Friendship Sunday. And as well as that, since we're going into small groups, I do want to say that we have facilitators for the small groups, and we have hosts and hostesses for the small groups. You may not want to be a facilitator, but you may be one who would like to open your home and just have that nice ambiance for people to come into and to be part of the small group. And you don't have to cook. If people want food, have everybody bring something. So that's an opportunity. Perhaps you enjoy plants. And I know there's a name for that, but Cheryl, what is that? Is there a name for people who like to work with plants? Horticulturists? Horticulturists, okay. Landscapers. And so I won't call you plant people anymore. You're horticulturists. But perhaps, you love that and you would like to be a part of our grounds team and help with creating beauty all around us, with our landscaping. Perhaps you are have been born with great organizational skills. And I'm going to tell you, we could use organization here in this ministry all the time. Organization of closets, of the kitchen, organization of various things like that, but also people who can help us organize events. So if that's your gift, we can use it. And maybe you are just a natural leader. And we have many people who are just natural leaders. And so maybe you could be a part of helping to lead a small group or help to lead in a project that is being done. Or perhaps you are great at marketing. I'm going to tell you something. The thing that I hear most from people who come here for the first time? I didn't even know you were here. I didn't know there was a church that taught these things. Oh, we need to get this out there, because I promise you there are thousands of people in this community that resonate with this and would love to come and be connected with other people of like mind. So if you have great marketing skills and ideas, talk to us. But perhaps you're musically talented, and would you be willing to audition to be a part of our music program? Or maybe you're one who studied music and you'd like to help create some ensembles, or even create a children's choir with our music. Perhaps you're a handyman or handy woman. And I'm going to tell you, we have a lot of opportunities for handy men and handy women around here. But I'm going to tell you another vision that I have is that I would love to see a group of people who are willing to help single, especially single women, and to help the elder, our more mature people. You know, a group of people, so many times I'll talk to somebody who's a single person that maybe doesn't have the money to hire somebody, and they need some things done. And we have that opportunity to support them in that. It just has nothing to do with the fact that I'm currently a single woman, but I have a lot of help, I will say that. Perhaps you are a connector. You're good at making connections and helping others to connect. And here's another vision that I have. I've had this vision for a while. I would love to see a group of dedicated people who would be willing to call this congregation. I would love to see it at least once a month. And if we have enough people who would be willing to do that, we could break it down into each person would only have 10 or 15 people to call. And the idea behind the call would simply to be say hello. Hey, you know, I'm just checking in with you. You know, do you have anything on your mind, any concerns, anything that you might want me to share with Sue? Just wanted you to know that we're here for you, we're praying for you. Just how wonderful to just have that connection. And you know what that does for us too? That leaves nobody out. That leaves nobody out there who hasn't come to church for a while because something's going on in their life. We now know, and we can gather together to support them. So I see somebody stepping up to help create that. Maybe you have a gift of prayer, or you have the gift of being an encourager. I know so many people who just love to encourage other people. And so, you know, the opportunity is that we have many opportunities where you can be that person to pray with other people, or you can be that person to encourage and uplift somebody that's going through something. And I want to share that we also have the gift of creating financial abundance. Did you know that is a gift? That's a gift. That's a gift that some people have. And I loved this. I heard this, that somebody asked somebody, what is gratitude? And they said gratitude has two branches. One is gratefulness, and the other is thanksgiving. And the branch of gratefulness is where things are flowing in our lives, things are good, things are, and our cup is not only filled, it is overflowing, and we're so grateful. And the other branch is thanksgiving. And this is where we are so thankful that all we can think about is, I want to share, I want to give, I want to make a difference. And not just with money, you know, we're joy, you know, education, whatever, but that our cup overflows and all we can do is give from that place. So if your gift is creating money, perhaps you would like to underwrite something here, like the radio program. Now, I do want to say a big shout out to a couple that just gave us a $5,000 check for the radio program. Is that awesome? Woohoo! Thank you, thank you. A thing personal for me is that I don't always get to go to the conferences because we don't always have the money to do that. But the conferences make a difference for me, and they make a difference for us because I'm getting all the new stuff. And so maybe somebody would like to underwrite conferences. Maybe somebody would like to underwrite getting new flooring in the fellowship hall, the hallway down the Sunday school, and into our Sunday school rooms. Maybe somebody would love to underwrite that. Maybe somebody would like to underwrite cleaning our outside up with paint and windows and fascia. You know, somebody has the funds to underwrite these things, and I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, and loves this ministry and loves this message. Another thing that somebody might like to underwrite is hiring a youth director that oversees our entire youth program. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. One of the things that we have to focus on as a ministry is we have to focus on finding families that love this message and creating a dynamic youth program so these kids want to come and want to be here, because when the kids are happy, the parents are happy. And so part of our journey in this next year is to really look at and say, how can we better reach out? What is it that we need to level up here to draw young families and college students to this ministry? Because here's the thing I know absolutely about each and every one of us. We want this ministry to thrive well beyond our lives. And so the way it's going to thrive is through that. Okay, another gift is mentoring young people. And so if you love children, a vision we have is to have at least 2 people in every age-appropriate Sunday school room in the back. Oh, it'd be awesome. We would love to have somebody work with our younger teens. We would love to have somebody who's a teen director of our overall teens. And we'd love to have a next generation unity program in service. And that takes, again, leadership. So the thing I want to remind all of us about these gifts is that all of them are equal, all of them. And we have to say here, because in our culture, we have revered one gift above all others, haven't we? And that's people who make money. Our culture is so out of whack that we automatically respect and admire somebody just because they make money. And the reality is, all of these other gifts that we have, they are just as important. Because even if we had the money to do everything that we wanted to do here, if we didn't have the gifts, it wouldn't be done. So please know, every gift deserves and is worthy of the same respect and the same appreciation. Okay, so here's the thing about this, is that individually, we can do a lot. Individually, we can do a lot. But my friends, I'm going to tell you that collectively, you and I, all of us together, we can move mountains. We can move mountains, and we can do what I believe all of us want to do, and that is we can begin making a difference in the world as a collective consciousness. We can come together in a way that we are connected as a spiritual family, come together in a way that says Unity of Springfield is my church. It's my church. And as a part of this church, I want to be involved. And I want to help create these programs. I want to volunteer my time. I want to come with ideas. I want to create different groups or things like that, because I love this message. And next week, what we're going to talk about is, as we're getting so cohesive in that our next step is, I shouldn't say our next step, our step that coincides with this is it's time to get out. And to get out into the community and to get out in the world. And again, we can do it individually, and that's all important. But think about if we come together as a collective consciousness and we start doing the things that we talk about doing. I know with all my heart that this is the time. And I know that we are the ones, because we're here, because we're listening on the radio or on the internet, and that every single one of us have gifts that we can share. And please know this, that sometimes we're in a place when we're attending church that we need to just come and be ministered to, and that's okay. And then there are other times when things are, okay, I'm ready to step in. And also, please know, and I always want to say this to people, if you're asked to do something, no is a complete sentence. It is. Because the main thing here, my friends, is that we're doing things with joy. That we're doing things because we love it. And when we bring that joy and that love into whatever we're doing, that consciousness expands exponentially. So what is it? I just want to encourage you this week to contemplate, what do I see as this spiritual family? How can I be a part of creating those connections? And what are some gifts that I have that I would love to share with other people in this ministry? At our talent show on Friday night, which, oh my gosh, please come next year, because I'm blown away every single year by the talent and the people who step out. It's fabulous. Great way to support our spiritual family is to be there and say, go. I'm so happy for you. But Katie Spangler got up and she was funny. She had this crazy hair thing going on, and she was Dr. Seuss's colleague. And she read the book to us. Oh, the places you'll go. And so I want to say to us today, my friends, oh, the places we will go. When we really and truly, we have those feet in our shoes and we start moving. The places we will go, we haven't even imagined yet. So are you ready? Are you really, really ready to take this ministry to its next level? Let me hear it again. Yes, yes, we are ready. We are ready, and I'm excited to be a part of this, and I invite you, each and every one of you, to become a part of it as well. And from my heart to yours, I want to say to you, namaste. I see your light. Namaste to each and every single one of you.